folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. A love that only the branch of a willow tree can conquer. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Erschen, and this week we're doing another movie review. This is Obsession, released in 2025 at the Toronto International Film Festival, and here in the U.S. in 2026. The film was produced by Focus Features along with Blumhouse. It was written, directed, and edited by Curry Barker, a promising young up-and-coming filmmaker. So this film is getting all kinds of buzz throughout the horror community, saying it's the best horror movie of the year. So I was curious, so I wanted to see what all the fuss is about, so I did go check it out at the local theater. The film stars Michael Johnston as Baron Bear Bailey, Inde Navarrette as Nikki Freeman, Cooper Tomlinson as Ian, Megan Lawless as Sarah Harper, and Andy Richter of Conan O'Brien fame. He played Conan's sidekick for years. He plays Sarah's father and the owner of the music store that they all work at. So it's this tight-knit group of friends. You can tell they probably grew up together. They probably all went to school together because they're all very close. So this is going to be a minor spoiler-filled review. So if you guys want to just go in cold, not knowing anything about this movie, I suggest you do so. Go check out the film and then come back and see this review. Because I do want to talk a little bit about the story and the characters and everything and what I thought about the film. So overall, the concept of the film, I think, is not all that original. We did see something very similar in The Craft. You know, there was this witch girl who cast a spell on a boy she really liked. And, you know, he ends up falling madly in love with her to the point of obsession. And that's a very similar case in this film. Now, what I do enjoy about this film is the direction of Curry Barker. I think is very interesting. He has this wild, manic, kinetic energy that reminds me of Sam Raimi with the Evil Dead films. Yeah, I get serious Evil Dead vibes when watching this movie. It's just wild like that. It's all over the place. It's crazy. I will say it does rely a little bit too much on the jump scares. At some points it's just like loud noises coming at you, you know, it's like a little bit too much at times. But probably the best thing to come out of this movie, in my opinion, is Inde Navarrette's performance. I think she's just fantastic as Nikki Freeman. She just has this wild, really unhinged energy that's just terrifying, you know. She scared me a few times. You know, like, whoa, you know, wild, this insane outburst that she has, and it's just like crazy. So what happens in the film is, you know, as I said, the bear is hopelessly in love with this girl, and you know, he ends up going to the local mystic shop or witchcraft store to get a gift for Nikki, because Nikki had apparently lost her necklace that was really important to her. So he wanted to kind of surprise her to replace it, you know. But along the way, he finds something a little more interesting, something on the shelf called One Wish Willow. And he's very intrigued by the box. He checks it out, and apparently, you know, it grants you a wish. Whatever you want. If you break the stick, it will come true. And you know what they say, be careful what you wish for. And that's the point of this whole movie. Because, you know, he gets what he wishes for. And that's not a good thing. Because what happens, this group of friends all get together at that local hot spot that they all love to go to together and have some drinks and fun. When it comes to the closing of the night, the last call for alcohol, they decide to go to another after-hours spot. But Nikki doesn't want to. She's tired. She wants to go home and go to sleep. So Bear offers to give her a ride, so he does. Along the way, they get to talking, and, they're really bonding. They're really getting intense. Because Nikki has a lot of problems of her own, and that she confides in Bear. They are very close. They're very close friends and have been for years, so it's tough sometimes to take things to that next level when you want to be more than friends, And we're not quite sure if Nikki feels the same way, but she is curious about it. She does even ask him at one point, "Do you like me?" So there was his chance right there. He could have just ended it all and there wouldn't be a movie, would there? If he just said, yeah, I do like you. He couldn't just say that. He's got to... instead he goes, yeah, I do like you as a friend. Like, idiot, what are you doing? And I'm sure everyone in the audience thinks that way. Are you stupid? What's the matter with you? And he feels that way too, and that's when he busts out the box, the One Wish Willow, breaks the stick, and as she goes walking up towards her house to go home and go to sleep, she kind of just stops there for a second, and for an uncomfortably long time, she just stands still, and it's weird. It's weird. And then she turns around, and then, she's like, why don't you come in? I know your cat died recently, and you're very sad and upset about it. Why don't you come in and have a couple of drinks, and we can all talk about it? And he's like, wow. And then she starts getting into, I don't want to be alone tonight. My father has cancer, he's dying, and he's like, oh wow, he starts getting really concerned, and she's like, well, I don't want to go back into the house, why don't you take me home? And then he does, and he's like, wow, this is my opportunity. So he takes her to his place, and she's very upset and kind of all over the place, she doesn't want to be alone, so she goes to bed, and she's like, can you sleep with me? I don't want to be alone. And then things seem to be going very well for him. He's like, wow, this is great. I'm finally getting what I want here, And then she just kind of flips out and freaks out of nowhere, and you're like, whoa. It's just scary, super scary. And she just has these wild, chaotic outbursts. And of course, that's because of the spell that's been cast on. She doesn't know what she's doing or why she's doing it or anything, because she's being controlled by the wish that was cast, the spell that was cast on her by the One Wish Willow, And that's what happens, As the film goes, she becomes more and more obsessed with him and madly, hopelessly in love with him. And she doesn't even know why, because, that's the spell that's been cast on her. And you're like... And it gets to the point where she becomes so obsessed with him that she can't go anywhere or do anything without him. So he can't even go to the store, he can't even go to the bathroom without her being right there and standing at the door, it gets that bad. He tries to go out one night with his friends to a party without her, and she just she ain't having it, So he lets her come along, and then she ends up, completely embarrassing him and just flipping out and acting very unhinged and weird and bizarre and freaking out, Especially when it comes to the girl Sarah, who actually does like Bear, does have a big crush on Bear and does want to go out with him. And he's just kind of oblivious to it. He just kind of wants to be friends with her. I don't even know if he realizes that she really likes him. But they're playing this like drinking game, and it comes to a part where you have to kiss the girl to the left of you, and Sarah is the girl to the left of him, and it's hilarious. Nikki just gets this terrifying, frowning face, and then she slowly walks up to Sarah and pulls her seat back, and she takes that place, and she takes the spot to the left of him so he can kiss her. That's how bad she is. It's kind of hilarious. And there is a lot of humor in this film, which is also similar to the Evil Dead films, and it's used in such a great way that it's just perfect. Her insanity is to the point where it's hilarious, she's so over the top and insane and bonkers that she's like a schizophrenic, she just flips out of nowhere, There's one part that's hilarious when he goes out to meet up with Sarah to talk about Nikki's wild and frantic behavior, that she flips out, like, what am I gonna do? And you just see her stand there and smile and put on the smile just to please him, and then you can see that she is not going to move from that position until he comes back, And that's exactly what happens. She never leaves that position, and he's gone for quite a while, to the point where she ends up peeing herself and pooping herself and throwing up. And then when he finally comes back, she's still smiling. She's got like puke hanging out of her mouth, and you look at the floor, there's crap all over the floor, and oh my god, it's disgusting. It's scary. It's crazy, how obsessed she is. But we know, of course, that that's not her fault. But it drives Bear absolutely insane. He doesn't know what to do. He can't do anything. He can't go anywhere without her or do anything without her flipping out and acting extremely bizarre and extremely schizophrenic. So he doesn't know what to do. So of course he goes back to the witchcraft store and is like, "What can I do? I have to break the spell." And the guy's like, "What'd you do? What did you do?" And said, "Well, you gotta call the number on the back of the box." So he calls the number on the back of the box, and he's like, "Can't you break the spell?" And the guy's just like, "No, it doesn't work that way. We don't do that." Well, can't I have someone else do a spell? And then he starts thinking about that. And he's like, "Well, the only way the spell can be broken is either if you die or she dies, then the spell is broken." I'm like, that does not work for me. That's not a great solution. So that's basically the gist of the movie. I don't want to get into too much of what happens after that. I feel like probably giving way too much already. But I did say there's going to be a minor spoilers in this review. But I definitely think you guys should check it out. I do think it's worth checking out. It's got some great scares. Doesn't rely maybe a little bit too much on jump scares to the point where it's just like a bunch of noise and a bunch of loud noises, and it made me think of, Steve Carell in Anchorman when he's yelling. He's like, "Loud noises coming out of my mouth." That kind of reminds me of this movie. It's just so loud at times and so over the top with the jump scares that it's like, it can get a little bit much at times. But again, the biggest thing coming out of this is the direction style of Curry Barker and the performance of Inde Navarrette. I do think she is going to be a star after this movie, because this is a star-making performance. I think she's just brilliant in it. She's great, and she's terrifying, and she will scare you because she does some wild, wild things in this, So definitely, guys, check it out. I do think it's worth checking out. I don't know if it's going to be the best horror movie of the year or not, but it's definitely a good start. So check out Obsession, directed by Curry Barker, and starring Michael Johnston, Inde Navarrette, Cooper Tomlinson, and Megan Lawless. Thank you for joining me, Sean Patrick Erschen, in the Horror Corner. Tune in and stay scared. Good evening, folks, and we got some brand new merchandise for you over at www.thehorrorcona.com, and that's CONA.com. Representing the Horror Corner. Great new design. We got the Morbid Hour live stream there, you got the Horror Hangout live stream there, and you got my nemesis, the Dark Fate. So grab your t-shirt over at www.thehorrorcona.com. And we also got this beautiful new mug. Look at that. Very, very cool. Thought that came out really nice. So grab your merchandise today over at www.thehorrorcona.com.